Lieutenant Taiho Kim wiped sweat from his forehead as he led his team across the alien world. The sky was a deep purple, and two small moons hung above the strange forest. This planet, called Peak 7, was supposed to be empty of smart life. They were wrong. "Keep your eyes open," Taiho said to his team of 6 soldiers. They all wore light armor and carried standard guns. Their job was simple: explore and map the area, collect samples, then go home. Min Su checked his scanner. "Sir, I'm picking up something strange about 2 miles north. Something big is moving." Taiho nodded. "Let's check it out. Stay alert, but remember, we're explorers, not fighters." The team moved through the thick trees with blue leaves. The air smelled like cinnamon and metal. Strange bird-like creatures flew overhead, calling to each other with bell-like sounds. "It's beautiful here," said Jin, the team's science officer. "The plants alone could help Earth medicine for years to come." Taiho smiled. He liked Jin's calm way of seeing things. Let's hope whatever Min Su spotted feels the same way about sharing. They climbed a small hill and stopped at the top. In the valley below, they saw them for the first time. "What are they?" whispered Yuma, her hand tightening on her gun. The creatures looked like wolves walking on 2 legs. They stood about 7 feet tall with thick gray and silver fur. They wore what looked like armor made of a shiny black metal. 5 of them moved around what looked like a small ship. "They're smart," Taiho said quietly. "They have technology, maybe even space travel." His heart beat faster. This was the first alien life humans had ever found. Min Su pointed. "Sir, look at their sides. Those things look like weapons." Each wolf creature had a long, tube-like object attached to its arm. The devices glowed with a soft blue light. "We need to report this," Jin said. "Command needs to know about this right away." Taiho shook his head. "First contact protocol is clear. We try to make peaceful contact if possible." "Sir, that's crazy," Yuna said. "We don't know anything about them." "And they don't know anything about us," Taiho replied. "Someone has to take the first step." Before anyone could stop him, Taiho stood up and walked down the hill with his hands up. His team had no choice but to follow. The wolf creatures saw them immediately. They stood in a line, facing the humans. The biggest one, with silver-tipped fur, stepped forward. "We come in peace," Taiho said clearly, even though he knew they couldn't understand. He held out his hand, palm down, in what humans considered a calming gesture. The effect was instant and terrible. The lead wolf's eyes widened. It pulled back its lips to show long teeth and made a sound like thunder. The others raised their arm weapons. "Lieutenant," Jin shouted. "That gesture must mean something bad to them." Taiho tried to pull his hand back, but it was too late. Blue light shot from the wolf creature's weapons. The beams cut through the air with a sound like tearing cloth. "Take cover," Taiho shouted, diving behind a rock. The blue beams hit trees, turning them to ash instantly. One beam caught Yuma in the chest. She didn't even have time to scream before she was gone. Min Su fired back, his bullets sparking against the wolf's black armor without effect. Another blue beam found him, and he disappeared. "Fall back," Taiho ordered. "Back to the ship. Now." Jin was hit next, then 2 more soldiers. Only Taiho and Dako, the team's medic, made it to the trees. As they ran, Taiho could hear the wolf creatures howling behind them. The sound wasn't angry. It was sad, like they were singing about something lost. 3 hours later, Taiho sat in the small ship heading back to the main human base. His hands couldn't stop shaking. "It wasn't your fault," Dako said quietly. "You tried to make peace." Taiho stared at his hand, the one he had held out to the aliens. "My mistake killed 4 good people today." He closed his eyes. "And I have a feeling this is just the beginning." Captain Ju-Won Park stood straight as a tree in the large meeting room. Around him, High-ranking officers argued loudly. On the big screen was the video that Taeho had recorded. The wolf aliens fired their blue lasers again and again. "We need to hit back hard," said Admiral Hansung, pounding his fist on the table. "Show these wolves that humans aren't easy prey." Ju-won took a deep breath. "Admiral, with respect, we don't know why they attacked. Lieutenant Kim's team may have broken some rule without knowing it." Admiral Han's face turned red. "They killed 4 of our people. What more do you need to know?" "I need to know if we can talk to them," Ju-won said. "War should be our last choice, not our first." The room went quiet when General Kang entered. Everyone stood at attention. "At ease," the general said. "I've reviewed the footage and spoken with Earth Command. Our orders are clear. We will send an armed response to show strength, then try to open talks." Ju-won's heart sank. He knew how these things worked. Once shooting started, talking usually stopped. After the meeting, Ju-won walked quickly down the hall. His friend was waiting for him in the lab. Dr. Jae-hoo Lee looked up from his computer when Ju-won entered. They had known each other since school days. Where Ju-won chose the military path, Jae-hoo chose science. "So, what did they decide?" Jae-hoo asked. "They want to show strength first, then talk," Ju-won said with a frown. "Which means they want to shoot first, ask questions later." Jae-hoo nodded slowly. "Then you should see what I've been working on." He pressed a button, and a wall slid open. Behind it was a row of new guns and a suit of armor. "What is this?" Ju-won asked, touching the strange metal of the armor. "Something to keep our people alive," Jae-hoo said. "After the first reports came in, I started working on this. The armor can stop their laser weapons, at least for a few hits." Ju-won picked up one of the guns. It was lighter than it looked. "And this," Jae-hoo continued, "can match their firepower. It's our own laser weapon. How did you build these so fast?" Jae-hoo looked away. "I've been working on laser weapons for years, just in case we ever needed them." Ju-won put the gun down carefully. "I don't like this, Jae-hoo. This feels like we're planning for war, not peace." "The wolves started this," Jae-hoo said. "And did you see their ships in that footage? They have a whole fleet up there. If they wanted to, they could burn our colony from orbit. Or they could be just as scared as we are," Ju-won said. A message came through on Ju-won's communicator. He read it and sighed. "Orders?" Jae-hoo asked. "I'm to lead a special team. Test your weapons in the field." Ju-won looked at his old friend. "And guess who they're sending with me?" "Who?" "Lieutenant Taeho Kim, the survivor from first contact." Jae-hoo winced. "Is he ready?" "After what he saw. Command thinks he'll be properly motivated," Ju-won said with disgust. "They don't care if he's ready." Jae-hoo put a hand on Ju-won's shoulder. "You'll look after him. That's why they're sending you." Later that night, Ju-won stood at the window of his quarters, looking up at the stars. Somewhere out there, the wolf aliens were probably preparing for humans to return. Were they afraid? Angry? Did they regret the killing, or were they planning more? He thought of Taeho, who had tried to make peace and lost his friends instead. He thought of Jae-hoo, who had been building weapons in secret all this time. Ju-won's communicator beeped. A message from command. The mission would begin tomorrow. "So it starts," he whispered to himself. He picked up the small photo on his desk. It showed him and Jae-hoo as young men, smiling, full of hope for the stars. War was coming, and Ju-won feared that none of them were ready for what would follow. Taeho's hands shook as he tried to put on the new armor. Sweat ran down his face, and his breath came fast and shallow. "Let me help you with that," said a calm voice behind him. Taeho turned to see Captain Ju-won Park. The captain's kind eyes showed no judgment as he helped adjust the chest plate. "The first time in new gear is always hard," Ju-won said. Taeho looked down. "It's not the gear, sir." Ju-won nodded. "I know. The nightmares. Every night, Taiho admitted. I see them die again and again. Yuna, Min Su, Jin. I keep thinking about what I did wrong. You did nothing wrong, Ju-won said firmly. You followed first contact protocol perfectly. Taiho closed his eyes. Then why did they attack? I've gone over it 1,000 times. Before Ju-won could answer, the door opened. Dr. Ji-hoo Lee walked in with a cart full of weapons. Time for training, Ji-hoo announced. These aren't toys, and you need to know how to use them before you face the wolves again. The training room was large and set up to look like the forest on PX-7. Moving targets shaped like the wolf aliens popped up randomly. The special team, 6 soldiers including Taiho and Ju-won, practiced with the new laser rifles. Taiho held his weapon tight. When the first wolf target appeared, he froze. Lieutenant, fire, Ju-won shouted. Taiho's mind filled with the memory of blue light and screams. His finger wouldn't move. Another soldier fired instead, hitting the target dead center. Got it, she said. Her name was Du Yen, and she had never seen the real wolves. Focus, Lieutenant, Ju-won said quietly to Taiho. Your team needs you. Taiho took a deep breath and nodded. When the next target popped up, he fired. His shot went wide. Again, Ji-hoo called. Keep your breathing steady. For 3 hours they trained. Slowly, Taiho's hands stopped shaking. His shots started to hit the targets, but each time he saw the wolf shape, his heart raced. After training, Ju-won found Taiho sitting alone in the mess hall. You did well today, Ju-won said, sitting across from him. Taiho looked up. No, I didn't, but I'll be ready when we go back there, sir. I promise. Ju-won studied him. Can I show you something? They walked to a small room filled with screens. Ju-won locked the door and typed a code into a computer. This is classified, he said. Intelligence analysis of your encounter. On the screen appeared the footage from Taiho's helmet camera. It played the moment when he held out his hand to the wolves. Watch their leader's eyes, Ju-won said, playing it again, slower. See how they widen. Not in anger at first, but in fear. Taiho leaned closer. Fear. They were afraid of us. Look at your science equipment, Ju-won continued. From their angle, some of it looks like weapons. And your hand gesture, holding it palm down like that. Our analysts think it might mean something threatening in their culture. Taiho sat heavily in a chair. They thought we were going to attack them. That's why they fired first. It's just a theory, Ju-won said. But yes. Have you told command this? Ju-won's face darkened. 3 times. They're not interested. Admiral Han has decided the wolves are hostile. Period. Taiho's mind raced. So we're going in guns blazing based on a misunderstanding. That's war for you, Ju-won said bitterly. Usually starts with someone's mistake and ends with everyone's regret. Taiho stood up. We have to find a way to talk to them. To explain. Our mission orders don't include talking, Ju-won reminded him. We're being sent to their secondary outpost to test Ji-hoo's weapons and show force. Then what's the point of all this? Taiho asked, waving at the screen. Ju-won looked him straight in the eyes. Knowledge. Truth. Even if no one else wants it, we should know what we're really doing. As they left the room, an announcement came over the speakers. Special team. Report for final briefing. The dropship cut through the purple sky of planet PX-7. Inside, 6 humans in black armor sat in silence. Taiho checked his laser rifle for the 10th time. Next to him, Captain Ju-won gave him a small nod. 2 minutes to landing zone, the pilot called out. Scanners show 15 wolf aliens at the outpost. Do-yeon, the team's sharpshooter, smiled. 15 against 6 seems fair. Remember the mission, Ju-won said firmly. We test the weapons, show force, and pull out. No unnecessary killing. The ship landed in a small clearing half a mile from the alien outpost. The team moved out in perfect formation, their new armor gleaming dully in the strange light of PX-7's twin suns. Tai-Ho felt his heart hammer as they neared the outpost, a collection of silver domes and a small landing pad with 2 wolf ships. The memory of blue laser fire flashed in his mind. "Focus," Ju-1 whispered beside him. "Stay in the present." They took positions around the outpost. Through his scope, Tai-Ho could see the wolf aliens moving about, unaware of the humans. They looked just as he remembered, tall, with thick fur and powerful bodies. "All units in position," came Du-Yun's voice over the comm. Ju-1 gave the signal. "Fire at the ships only. Disable them." Red beams shot out from the human weapons. The wolf alien ships exploded in flames. The wolves reacted instantly, grabbing their armed weapons and taking cover. Blue and red lasers crisscrossed in the air. The human armor worked. It absorbed the blue beams, though the impact still knocked them back. "Push forward," Ju-1 ordered. Tai-Ho moved up, firing carefully. A wolf jumped out in front of him, its blue laser cutting the air where Tai-Ho had been a second before. He rolled and fired back. The red beam hit the wolf in the chest. It fell without a sound. Something broke inside Tai-Ho. Suddenly, he was back at first contact, watching his friends die. But now he had the power. He began firing rapidly, moving deeper into the outpost. "Lieutenant, stay in formation," Ju-1 shouted in his ear. Tai-Ho didn't listen. He rounded a corner and found 3 wolves trying to reach a communication device. He fired again and again. They dropped one after another. "Please," he whispered, though no one could hear him. "Just stop fighting." Across the outpost, the battle was going the humans' way. Jihu's weapons cut through the wolves' armor like it was paper. Their own blue lasers couldn't penetrate the human suits. "Lieutenant Tai-Ho, report." Ju-1's voice was angry now. "Clearing the north section," Tai-Ho replied. He entered a small dome structure. Inside, he found something unexpected. A young wolf was huddled in the corner. It was smaller than the others, with soft gray fur that hadn't yet grown the silver tips of adults. It had no weapon. When it saw Tai-Ho, it made a soft whining sound. Tai-Ho froze, his weapon half raised. The young wolf's eyes were wide with fear, the same fear he'd seen in the first contact video. "Tai-Ho, all sections are clear," Ju-1 called. "Meet at the central area." Tai-Ho stared at the young wolf. He couldn't kill it, but he couldn't leave it either. Slowly, he lowered his weapon and reached out his hand, palm up this time. The young wolf watched him warily. "It's okay," Tai-Ho said softly. "I won't hurt you." He backed toward the door, keeping his hand out. To his surprise, the young wolf followed, staying just out of reach. In the central area, the rest of the team was gathering data and samples. 3 wolves lay dead nearby. "Report," Ju-1 said, then stopped when he saw what followed Tai-Ho. "What is that?" "A young one," Tai-Ho said. "No weapon. It followed me." Du-Yun raised her rifle. "We should kill it. It'll grow up to be a threat." "No." Tai-Ho moved between her and the young wolf. "No more killing. We take it with us." Ju-1 studied Tai-Ho's face, then the young wolf. "Intelligence will want to question it anyway." He nodded. "It comes with us. Alive." As they headed back to the ship, Tai-Ho looked around at the burning outpost. 10 dead wolves. For what? To test weapons? To show force? The young wolf walked beside him, still keeping its distance. Tai-Ho wondered what it would tell them, if it could speak, what secrets it might share about its people, and what it might say about the humans who had destroyed its home. Dr. Hyan Cho was not a soldier. She was small, with quick hands, and even quicker eyes. She studied languages, not weapons. When they brought the young wolf alien to her lab, her eyes lit up with excitement. "This is amazing," she said, looking at the creature in the large glass room. Our first chance to really understand them. The young wolf paced back and forth. It had been 3 days since Tai-Ho brought it back from the mission. It refused to eat at first, but now it took small amounts of food left near the door. Has it made any sounds? Haiyan asked Tai-Ho, who stood watching through the glass. Some soft howls at night, he said. Nothing like words. Haiyan nodded. I've been studying the recordings from your first contact. Their sounds have patterns. I think I can build a simple translation program. Ju-Won joined them, looking tired. The mission had been called a success by command, but he didn't seem happy about it. Any progress? He asked. Dr. Cho thinks she can talk to it, Tai-Ho said. Haiyan smiled. Not exactly talk, but communicate, maybe. She pulled out a tablet. I've loaded common images here. Trees, water, food. We can start with basic needs. They entered the room together. The young wolf backed away to the far wall. Its silver-blue eyes watched them carefully. Hello, Haiyan said softly. She sat on the floor, making herself small. We want to be friends. The wolf made no response. Haiyan held up her tablet, showing a picture of water. She pointed to a water bowl near the wolf, then back at the picture. The wolf tilted its head. Haiyan tried again with food. This time, the wolf made a soft sound, kurr, and pointed at the food bowl. It understands, Tai-Ho said excitedly. For hours, they worked with simple pictures. The wolf learned quickly. By evening, it could point to over 20 images to show what it wanted. I'm going to try something, Haiyan said. She held up a picture of a human hand with the palm down, the gesture Tai-Ho had made during first contact. The wolf's reaction was instant. It growled and backed away, showing its teeth. What does it mean to them? Ju-Won asked. Haiyan showed a new image, a wolf standing over another wolf lying down. The standing wolf had its paw on the other's neck. I think it means domination, she explained, to force another to submit. In their culture, it might be a serious threat. Tai-Ho felt sick. So when I held out my hand like that, you were telling them you were going to attack, Haiyan finished. They thought they were defending themselves. The next day, Admiral Han visited the lab. He watched the wolf through the glass. Command is pleased with the weapon test results, he told Ju-Won. We're planning a full attack on their main fleet. Sir, Ju-Won said carefully, Dr. Cho has made a breakthrough. The attack at first contact was a misunderstanding. The wolves thought we were threatening them. Admiral Han frowned. They killed 4 of our people. Because they thought we were going to kill them, Tai-Ho said. It was my mistake. I used a gesture that means attack in their culture. The Admiral looked at the young wolf, which was now sitting near Haiyan as she showed it new pictures. It doesn't matter why it happened, he said coldly. What matters is that they have technology we want. Their ships, their weapons. We need those. So this isn't about justice, Ju-Won said. It's about taking their technology. Admiral Han's face hardened. Watch your tone, Captain. We're at war now. Pick a side. After he left, Han showed them what she had learned. The wolves, who called themselves the Olvari, lived in family packs. They had strict honor codes and complex social rules. The young one's name sounds like Shuri in our language, she said. It means something like quick learner. Shuri sat nearby, watching them talk. When Haiyan said its name, it looked up and made a soft sound. If the Olvari are so advanced, Tai-Ho asked, why haven't they destroyed our colony yet? They clearly have the power. Haiyan frowned. I don't know. But according to what Shuri has shown me, there's something else out there that scares them. Something they're running from. As if understanding, Shuri moved to a blank wall and drew a shape with its claw. A large, many-legged creature, like nothing they had ever seen before. Tai-Ho and Ju-Won looked at each other. The war had just become a lot more complicated. 2 weeks passed. Shuri learned to use simple words in human language. The young Olveri now trusted Hayan enough to sit near her. Sometimes, Shuri even let Tai-Ho touch its soft gray fur. "Tell us about home," Hayan said one morning. She showed Shuri a picture of stars on her tablet. Shuri's ears drooped. Home gone. Big eaters came. The Olveri drew the many-legged creature again on a pad. "Eat everything. Eat worlds." Ju-1 watched from the doorway. "Ask about their ships. Why they came here." Hayan nodded. "Shuri, why did your people come to this planet? Run from big eaters. Find new home." Shuri looked at them with sad eyes. "Your kind came. We think you are big eaters' friends. We scared." Tai-Ho felt a weight in his chest. "We aren't friends with the big eaters. We didn't know about them." Shuri made a sound like a sigh. "Too late now. Pack will fight. Honor says fight when attacked." After the session, Ju-1, Tai-Ho, and Hayan met in a small room away from cameras. "We need to tell command about the big eaters," Hayan said. "If these creatures destroyed the Olvari homeworld, they could be a threat to us too." "Admiral Han won't care," Ju-1 said bitterly. "He just wants the Olvari technology." Tai-Ho paced the room. "But this changes everything. The Olvari aren't our enemies. They're refugees. Refugees with very powerful weapons," Ju-1 reminded him. "Which they built to fight the big eaters," Hayan added. The door opened suddenly. Ji-Hu entered, looking excited. "There you are," he said to Ju-1. "I've been looking for you. Command wants to see us right away." In the command center, large screens showed the space around PX-7. 20 Olvari ships hung in orbit. Admiral Han stood in front of the main screen. "The Wolf fleet is gathering," he said. "Our time to strike is now, before they call for more ships." "Sir," Ju-1 started, "we have new information." "I know about the big eaters," Admiral Han cut him off. "Your pet wolf told us about them, but we can't confirm if it's true or just a story to make us feel sorry for them." Ji-Hu stepped forward. "I've enhanced the weapons, sir. The new version can penetrate their ship's hulls with one shot." Tai-Ho stared at Ji-Hu in shock. "You're still making weapons, even after learning the truth?" Ji-Hu wouldn't meet his eyes. "I follow orders, Lieutenant." Admiral Han nodded with approval. "Dr. Li knows his duty. The attack fleet will launch tomorrow. We'll test his new weapons on the Wolf ships." "Sir," Ju-1 said firmly, "I must formally object. The Olvari attacked because of a misunderstanding. They're refugees from a greater threat." "Objection noted, Captain," the Admiral said coldly. "Now either do your duty or face court-martial." After the meeting, Tai-Ho found Ji-Hu in his lab. New weapons lined the walls, each more powerful than the last. "How could you do this?" Tai-Ho demanded. "You know they're not our enemies." Ji-Hu looked tired. "They killed our people, Tai-Ho. And even if they didn't mean to, they still have technology we need. To fight the big eaters. To protect humanity," Ji-Hu said. "If the big eaters are real, we'll need these weapons. If they're not real, we still need to protect ourselves from the Olvari." "The Olvari are running scared," Tai-Ho said, "just like us." Back in the lab, Hayan and Ju-1 were waiting. Their faces were grim. "Command approved the attack," Ju-1 said. "Full strike against the Olvari fleet tomorrow." Hayan shook her head. "This is wrong. We finally have a chance to understand them, to make peace." They all looked at Shuri, who was sleeping curled up in a corner of the room. The young Olvari had no idea its entire species was in danger. "I won't be part of this," Tai-Ho said suddenly. "I've caused enough death already." Ju-1's eyes flashed with something dangerous. "What are you suggesting, Lieutenant?" "I don't know," Tai-Ho admitted, "but there has to be another way." Ju-1 was quiet for a long moment. Then he locked the door and lowered his voice. There might be, but it would be treason. Han stepped closer. I'm listening. As the three humans made their plan, Shuri opened one eye, watching them. The young Olveri understood more than they knew. Night fell on the human base. Most soldiers slept, unaware of what was coming. In the lab, Taiho checked his pack one last time. Are you sure about this? He asked Ju-Won. Your career will be over. Ju-Won's face was calm. Some things matter more than careers. Han entered, wearing a travel suit. The guard shift changes in 5 minutes. That's our window. Shuri watched them with bright eyes. The young Olveri seemed to understand something important was happening. We need to move, Han said. She knelt before Shuri. We're taking you home. To your pack. Shuri's ears perked up. Home. Pack. Yes, Taiho said. But you need to help us talk to them. Tell them we want peace. The plan was simple but dangerous. Take Shuri to the Olveri ship, return the young one to its people, and try to stop the war. They would be seen as traitors by their own side. The base was quiet as they moved through the shadows. Taiho carried Shuri part of the way, the young Olveri's fur soft against his neck. He thought about how afraid he had been of these creatures just weeks ago. Now he was risking everything to save them. They'd reached the small shuttle bay without being spotted. Ju-Won used his captain's code to open the door. This is it, he whispered. Last chance to back out. No one moved. Inside, they found a surprise waiting. Ji-Hoo stood by a shuttle, arms crossed. I thought you might try something like this, he said. Taiho stepped forward. Ji-Hoo, please, don't stop us. Ji-Hoo looked at them, then at Shuri. I'm not here to stop you. I'm coming with you. Han blinked. What? But your weapons are too powerful, Ji-Hoo finished. Admiral Han plans to use them to destroy the entire Olveri fleet, not just disable it. Thousands will die. He looked down. I built tools for defense, not for slaughter. Relief flooded through Taiho. Thank you, old friend. They boarded the shuttle quickly. Ji-Hoo took the pilot's seat. He was the best flyer among them. The engine started with a soft hum. Wait, Taiho said suddenly. There's something I need to know. He turned to Shuri. The first contact, when my team met your people. Did any of my friends survive? Shuri's ears drooped. No. Blue fire. Kills. I am sorry. Taiho closed his eyes. He had known the truth, but hearing it still hurt. One more thing, he asked. Why did your pack howl after they fired? It sounded sad. Death howl, Shuri explained. Honor for those who die in battle, even enemies. As the shuttle lifted off, alarms began to sound in the base. They've noticed us, Ji-Hoo said. Hang on. The shuttle shot into the night sky. Behind them, the base lit up with activity. 2 security fighters launched in pursuit. They're gaining on us, Han said, watching the radar. Ji-Hoo pushed the engines harder. The shuttle shook as it broke through the atmosphere into space. Ahead of them loomed the massive Olveri fleet, 20 ships in formation. Send the message, Ju-Won told Han. She activated the communication system and spoke the Olveri greeting Shuri had taught her. Then she added in simple words, We bring one of yours. We seek peace. For a long moment, there was silence. Then a deep voice responded in broken human language. Approach slowly. 1 ship only. The human security fighters closed in. Their weapons locked onto the shuttle. They're going to fire, Ji-Hoo warned. Suddenly, a blue beam shot from the closest Olveri ship. It hit one of the fighters, disabling its engines without destroying it. The second fighter veered away. They could have destroyed it, Ju-Won said with wonder, but they only disabled it. The shuttle approached the largest Olveri ship. A bay opened like a mouth in its side. This is it, Taiho said. No turning back now. Shuri pressed a paw against the window, looking at the Olveri ships with longing. Home. As they entered the alien ship, Taiho thought about how strange life was. He had come to PS7 as an explorer, became a soldier, and now, what? A traitor. A peacemaker. The shuttle landed with a soft thud. Outside the window, dozens of adult Olveri waited, their laser weapons ready. Taiho took a deep breath. Let's go meet the pack. The inside of the Olveri ship was warm and filled with strange smells. The walls glowed with a soft blue light. 20 adult Olveri surrounded the humans, their laser weapons ready. Shuri stepped forward and made a series of barks and howls. An older Olveri with silver-streaked fur stepped out from the group. It wore a metal collar with glowing symbols. "This is Pack Leader Ron," Shuri said in human language. "My father's brother." Ron studied the humans with cold eyes. He touched his collar, and a mechanical voice spoke. "You bring back Cub." "Why?" The translation was rough but clear. Ju-1 stepped forward, hands open, palms up in the way Hayan had taught them, the Olveri gesture of respect. "We come to stop war," he said slowly. "First fight was mistake. Misunderstanding." Ron's ears flattened. "Misunderstanding. You attack our outpost. Kill 10 warriors. And you killed 4 of our people," Taiho said. His voice shook a little. "We have all made mistakes," the Olveri leader growled. The others moved closer, weapons raised. Hayan quickly pulled out her tablet. "Please, look." She showed images of the first contact, played the video of Taiho holding his hand out, palm down. "This gesture," she explained, pointing. "In our culture, it means peace. We did not know it means threat to Olveri." Ron watched the video twice. The other Olveri murmured among themselves. "Even if true," Ron said finally, "your leaders attack again. Why?" Jaihu stepped forward. "Some of our leaders want your technology, your weapons. They don't care about peace." Shuri moved to stand beside Taiho. "These humans good. They save me. Want to help." A loud alarm suddenly sounded. An Olveri rushed in and spoke quickly to Ron. "Human ships coming," Ron told them. "Many ships. Attack formation." Ju-1's face fell. "Admiral Han. He must have moved up the attack." "You trick us," Ron growled, his hand moving to his weapon. "No," Taiho said desperately. "We came to stop this. You must believe us." Ron studied them for a long moment. "Take them to Command Center," he ordered. "They will see." The command center of the Olveri ship was a large room with windows that looked out into space. On screens, they could see 15 human warships approaching. "They're powering weapons," Jaihu said, reading the displays. "Using my enhanced lasers." A message came through on the ship's communication system. Admiral Han's voice filled the room. "Attention alien vessels. Return our personnel immediately or face destruction." Ron turned to the humans. "Your leader does not want peace." "Let me talk to him," Ju-1 pleaded. Ron nodded, and the communication line opened. "Admiral," Ju-1 said firmly, "this is Captain Park. The Olveri are not our enemies. The first attack was a cultural misunderstanding. They're refugees fleeing from a greater threat. We can have peace." Admiral Han's voice was cold. "You are a traitor, Captain. Your words mean nothing." "Sir," Jaihu tried, "my weapons weren't meant for this. They're too powerful. Too many will die." "That's the point, Doctor," the Admiral replied. "Now stand aside. We attack in 5 minutes." The line went dead. Ron turned to his officers. "Prepare the Sun Spear." On a screen, a massive weapon appeared from the side of the Olveri mothership, a giant cannon that glowed with the power of captured starlight. "What is that?" Taiho asked, his mouth dry. "Our strongest weapon," Shuri explained. "Can destroy all your ships at once." "Please," Hayan begged Ron. "Don't do this. More death won't help anyone." Ron looked at the human fleet, then at the 4 humans before him. His eyes lingered on Tahoe. "You brought back our cub," he said slowly. "Honor demands payment of debt." Tahoe straightened his back. "Then let me pay it. I will stay here as your prisoner. Let the others go back to warn Earth about the Big Eaters." "Tahoe, no," Ju-1 protested. "It's my fault this started," Tahoe said quietly. "Let me help end it." Ron considered this. 1 hostage is not enough against 15 warships. "Then show them your power," Tahoe suggested. "Not by killing, but by mercy. Show them you could destroy them, but choose not to." The Ulvari leader's ears twitched with interest. "How?" "There," Jehu pointed to the lead human ship. "That's the command vessel. Your sun spear could disable it without destroying it. Show precision, not just power." Ron was silent for a long moment. Then he turned to his weapons officer. "Target command ship engines only. Prepare to fire." The humans watched as the sun spear powered up, its light growing painfully bright. Tahoe closed his eyes, praying he had made the right choice. The sun spear fired. A beam of pure light, thin as a finger but bright as a star, shot across space. It hit the engines of Admiral Han's command ship with perfect accuracy. The huge ship drifted to a stop, powerless but intact. "Message to all human ships," Ron ordered. His translator collar carried his words. "We could destroy you all. We choose not to. We seek peace." The human fleet stopped advancing. For long minutes, nothing happened. Then a message came through. "This is Commander Chen of the Earth Fleet. Admiral Han has been relieved of duty. We are standing down weapons. We wish to talk." Relief washed over Ju-1's face. It worked. "Not yet," Tahoe said. He turned to Ron. "Will you meet with them? Start real peace talks?" Ron looked at Suri, who nodded eagerly. "Yes, but you stay here," he told Tahoe. "As promised." "I'll stay too," Han said, "to help translate." "No," Tahoe said. "You should go with Ju-1. Tell Earth about the Big Eaters. They need to prepare." Ron watched this exchange with interest. "The pack values those who keep their word," he said, "and those who protect others." He touched his collar again. "The female may stay or go as she wishes. The others will return to explain." 2 days later, Ju-1 and Jehu stood before the Earth Defense Council. Behind them played videos from the Ulvari ships, images of their destroyed homeworld and the creatures that had caused it. "The Big Eaters are real," Ju-1 explained. "The Ulvari call them the Vex. They consume entire planets. They've destroyed 3 star systems already. And they're heading this way," Jehu added. "That Ulvari weren't invading. They were running, looking for allies." General Kang leaned forward. "You expect us to trust these aliens? After they killed our people?" "After we killed theirs, you mean?" Ju-1 said firmly. "Both sides made mistakes. Now we have a chance to move forward together." "The Ulvari weapons are powerful," Jehu said. "But so is their honor. They could have destroyed our fleet, but they chose mercy." On the Ulvari mothership, Tahoe worked with a group of young Ulvari. Han had stayed too, developing a better translation system. Tahoe taught them human customs while they taught him about pack life. "In pack, all protect all," Shuri explained. Tahoe was surprised at how quickly the young Ulvari learned human words. Strong protect weak. Weak become strong. "Not so different from humans," Tahoe said. "At our best anyway." A month passed, then another. Slowly, carefully, humans and Ulvari began to work together. The first joint research station was built in orbit around PX-7. Jehu's weapons were adapted to mine asteroids and build defenses against the coming Vex. Tahoe stood with Ron on the observation deck of the station. Below them, the purple world of PX-7 turned slowly. Human and Ulvari ships moved around it like dancers. "Did you think it would work?" Ron asked. His translator was much better now. When you offered yourself as hostage, Taiho shook his head. No, I just knew I had to try. I started this war with a mistake. I needed to end it. Not end, Ron corrected. Transform. War became alliance. A message came through. A Vex scout ship had been spotted at the edge of the system. Both humans and Ulvari were mobilizing to meet it. They are coming, Ron said. The real enemy. And we'll be ready, Taiho replied. Together. That night, Taiho wrote in his journal, something he'd started since living with the Ulvari. He wrote about regret, and how it could either destroy or rebuild. How the lasers that had once killed his friends were now protecting both species. The Ulvari had a saying, the deepest wounds can become the strongest bonds. Taiho understood that now. Outside his window, human and Ulvari ships trained together, their weapons flashing in the darkness. Not in war, but in preparation. Not against each other, but for each other. Their alien wolves packed lasers. Taiho had packed regret. Together, they had found something better than either. Hope.